Good morning again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Backpack Trader Training Room Crude Oil Inventory Report session for Wednesday, November 19th, 2025. Please note the required risk disclosure. This room is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Trade your charts, not mine. Trading of this type carries substantial risks and should only be attempted with funds you can afford to do without. All right, this is our last session today, so we'll do away with that. Look at the charts where we are. Less than 2 minutes to the report. Crude is in a trade that's gone too far to do anything with. Is what we'd be looking for new setups anyway. Unleaded with a short. I'm looking for a new setup there. Oh, for that as well. I don't like to use pre-existing trades for the inventory report. All right, we are ready. Less than 2 minutes now. 1 minute to go. 50 seconds. See what happens with the report. "30 seconds to the report release. We'll wait 2 minutes after the release before starting to take trades. 10 seconds. You can see the early morning sell-off there. And the report should be out. And a bit talk about a nothing burger. No reaction at all. Now we're getting a little bit of downward movement into the 20 SMA. Unleaded going through money management in both targets 1 and 2. Possible short trade on the counterpunch 377 tick in the lower left-hand corner. There is a possible long trade. Yeah, that's a minute in and no more reaction than we got. That's something that would be worthwhile, but boy, that's a small trade. Targets 3 and 4, 59.11 for money management, 59.01 for the entry. And that has gone, well, almost, it's not gone too far yet, but it's right at it. And that's too far, so that trade is off the table. We'll wait for a new one. Unleaded stops out of its short trade. And there's a long trade on unleaded. That's be a valid trade in the session. We're in there, so that is a long trade on unleaded. Unleaded and long, waiting for a trade set up on crude. $377 tick counterpunch is moving up. Crude moving up. There's money management. Actually, that's gone through targets 3 and 4. So stop at 58.99. If I were trading it, I'd be at 59.02 now. Because it actually would already be out of the trade completely. 2 fixed target positions is the trade plan. Would have been targets 3 and 4 in this case because of where the money management level was. So right now, the only trade that we're in is unleaded. Unleaded is long from 86.76. Trailer moving up on crude. Unleaded almost seems to be leading crude here recently. Unleaded right around the 50 EMA and 20 SMA. Those are right together. Crude moving up toward the 200 EMA. Up above the levels we saw this morning. Up from the 59.20 level. Unleaded trying to move up. Crude just hanging around. 87.20 for money management on unleaded. We've got as high as 87.12, I believe. No, a little bit more higher than that. 87.16 maybe. And there's another little push. And there, I believe, is money. Yeah, 87.20. So that's money management. Stop will come up to 86. Let's see, what was the entry? 86.76. So it'll be 77. Nothing yet on either crude chart, spotlight, or counterpunch. Spotlight chart on the right is using an 8-tick range bar, 8-cent momentum bar for trade station. Using spotlight. Counterpunch chart, lower left, is using a 377 tick chart. Unleaded using the same 20-tick range bar, 0.002 momentum bar that we use in the regular room. Same for crude, spotlight crude. And unleaded also on spotlight. All right, unleaded stops out for pretty much a break even. Actually, picked up a couple of ticks. 69, so we picked up 3 ticks. 79 rather, picked up 3 ticks. 6 ticks total. Partial win. Short trade on the counterpunch, 377 tick start. Taking some heat on that trade. Crude pulled back to the balance line on our 8-tick range bar and bounced. Unleaded is flat, crude is flat, spotlight crude is flat, counterpunch crude is short. Spot counterpunch crude stop is at 59.21. Counterpunch crude chart stops out. 59.09 to 21. $12 ticks. Loss of 24 on a 2-position trade. So everything is flat now. All right. Just kind of going sideways. Crude seems to have a little bit of upward momentum, but not much. We'll go to about 11 o'clock and see what happens. Not much movement. Kind of see the volatility going on on the 377 tick chart. Not a lot of movement there. I see a high of about 22 recently, and a low of about 80, 58, 89. So not much going on. I'm going to turn add-on trades on Spotlight, since we would be done with that long trade. And it looks like we've probably got a potential trade off the 50 EMA coming. So use add-ons. See a bunch of additional trades there. Looking an awful lot like a sideways session. Please do say hello in the chat. Feel free to ask questions or bring up things you want to discuss. Slow movement's the time to do that. All right. Oh, we got up a little bit higher. We got up to 24, it looks like. Looks like a possibility of exhaustion dots on unleaded. And the long trade hit money management, so that's successful. So it and I think we're too far below any of the moving averages. 20 and the 50 right together. 200 is a ways up above. New short on counterpunch 377. And did trigger in, it looks like. 14 to 26. So another 12 tick trade, 12 tick risk. And we have an 11 tick target at target 3. We did get exhaustion dots on Spotlight Crude chart, but now we're headed downward again. Unleaded, ooh. Unleaded picked up a little long trade there that stopped, ticked in, and then went immediately to the stops. Let's take a quick look at that and see if that was too fast to execute or if it was possible to get into it. If so, it's a full loss. Okay, there's our entry point. Stop and entry, or entry time, stop and entry are marked. So let's make it a 4-second chart. All right, there's our setup bar. Looks like it definitely should have been in that, about 15 or 20 seconds. And let's see, 4, 8, 12, 16, yeah, 20 seconds. You know, it did tick up above the entry. So it should be in that trade. That's unfortunately not or it's a valid trade and should have been in it. So that's a full loss. Risk of 48 ticks. So down 96 after a 6, so down 90 on 2 trades. All right, looks like we've got a potential short trade coming. High of the bar is 13.03 is the entry. And there it is. And it just triggered in. $27 is the stop. And the targets are 85 and 75. change that. Yeah, I'll leave it. That was from Sim Trading Gold this morning. I would have preferred an entry at 99 there, but that's not where it came up. And we did get target on 377 ticks, so 11 ticks. Of our 24, we're down 13. Stop at 08. 6 ticks and stopping out at 08. So we're still down 7 ticks. Need another trade to get positive. And we'll go beyond 11 o'clock, it looks like, because we're going to be in, we've got active trades going on. An active trade on Crude, Spotlight Crude. Another short on 377 tick counterpunch. This one's at 58.99. Still small trades. 99 to 11, so it's another 12 tick risk. It looks like a 12 tick target. Yep, 12 ticks to target 3. Ooh, stop and reverse. At 08. Hasn't gotten there yet. Take that to I don't like it, but take it to 09. Don't want to be right on the 50. Triggered in unadjusted, but so far still in the short with the stop and reverse adjustment. Both crude charts are short. Counterpunch and Spotlight. I'm glad to hear that. Thanks very much, Dixie Masters. Dixie's Master. I do understand. It was helpful to me as I got started 10 years ago or so with Troy. So that's one of the reasons I keep it up, even though it's not, I'm not getting the kind of audience numbers I'd like to see. Reevaluate after Christmas and see where we want to go with it. Didn't want to see the trade room die when Troy was looking to get away from it a little bit. He's been doing it consistently for 15 plus years. And given that he lives on the West Coast, getting up to do a trade room that starts at 6 o'clock or 6:30, he always started at about 6 o'clock or a few minutes before 6 o'clock Pacific. So that is quite a commitment for 15 or more years. And now I've been doing it something like around five years. He would do Monday and Wednesday, and I would do Tuesday and Thursday for quite a while. All right. We did ultimately stop and reverse to long on Counterpunch. Spotlight has not. And let's see. And looks like I don't see anything that's going to give us a long trade there, unfortunately, on Counterpunch. So okay, we've got money management, and we did get target. So we're trailing on the 377 tick long. There was our money management level, and actually that probably wasn't money management. Our entry was 09, so money management would have been 19 ahead. With that adjustment, this trade actually wouldn't even have been big enough to take. 9 tick target 3 after the stop and reverse adjustment and chart level adjustment around the 50. Three tick adjustment, but it was just too much. So I would probably have gone for a 12 tick target here. And we pick up, looks like, we pick up exactly 10 ticks on the trailer. So if you go for a 12 tick target and 10 tick trailer, you get 22 ticks. Let's see, we were down 7. Our loss was 99 to 09, 10, 20, down 27. We pick up down 5. So we still need another trade. Thank you for the encouragement. Now, I know what I got out of it, and I want to give back to the community. And it's Troy. I've been working with Troy Strategies now for over 10 years, and it's definitely worth it. Running Spotlight Power Trader and Counterpunch Trader here. He's got a couple of things newer since Spotlight. They don't lend themselves quite as well, or at least the Catapult doesn't lend itself quite as well to the inventory report. Catapult and then cloud control, and I'm working on getting cloud control set up on here. I've got an issue with my custom indicator stack that I've got to get with NinjaTrader and sort out before I can load that. Cloud control has been a very solid strategy. Take a look at the Backpacktrader.com website. Obviously, you found the YouTube channel. And there should be a link in the YouTube description, I think, to the Backpack Trader website, as well as, I believe, to the Trade Hacking Club on Discord. And taking a full stop out on Spotlight. Nothing new on Counterpunch. Spotlight stopped out at 59.27. First trade of the morning. And that was a 24 tick risk, so that's a 48 tick loss. But there will be losing trades. The whole point of a trade plan is finding a statistical advantage so that you're not dependent on any one trade. So don't miss the forest for the trees. All right, we are 15 minutes past, right? 12 minutes past 11. That was our first trade after the inventory report at 10:30. With that, I would typically go for the inventory report. I typically don't go beyond 11 o'clock for new trades. I trade in mini session approach normally 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. mini sessions. We've also looked at mini sessions at 11 and 1:30 or 1 o'clock, all those Eastern times. So 1 hour mini sessions in the morning, an hour and a half in the afternoon. Three trades per session. Since we go past the 11 o'clock hour on this inventory report, I would say that's the end of the inventory session. And if you're going to trade the 11 a.m. mini session, that would be, you're going to look for the next trade in that. But that, I believe, will wrap it up unless there are questions. And glad to answer questions about the strategies, trade plans, or what have you. At least on the monitor, I'm still live. Counterpunch, we take up to 5 trades. Hit. Keep a notepad, write down your questions, and I'll be glad to. We'll be in here tomorrow morning at 9:30, and next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, Thanksgiving next week. I'm not going to do a crude inventory session next week because Wednesday is an early close, I believe. Wisest, you're quite welcome. Glad to have you. Everybody have a good afternoon, and hopefully we'll see you again tomorrow. Rather than just looking at crude for the inventory session, obviously, I'll be running, I think, 7 example charts tomorrow and regulars. And that's what I run in the regular sessions. So you get a little better idea of what some of the different things you can do with the strategies. We also have Catapult represented. So hopefully we'll see you again tomorrow. Everybody have a good one.